Hey guys, welcome to the Work Toward Wonder podcast. Today I have Callie with me and we are so excited. Let's get into it. Callie, what does wonder mean to you?
Gracyn, wonder to me, in the sense of Christianity, is just having the wonder and all the questions about God. For me, I'm constantly just asking questions and trying to grow stronger in my faith. And I think that's a big part of the faith of Christianity is wonder and that drive and that want to just know and grow and learn and develop in your walk.
Yeah, that's so good. God is just so amazing, and when we never can fully understand the wonder of God, but if we work every day to work towards it, it's really awesome.
hmm
Yeah. All right, Callie, can you tell us a little about yourself?
Okay, so my name is Callie. I'm originally from Neosho, Missouri, and then I moved to Plato, Missouri, where I met G. We played softball together in Houston, and now I have moved to Texas. I'm a senior in high school, and I will be attending College of the Ozarks in the fall, headed back to Missouri.
Yes, that's so exciting. I can't wait for you to be closer.
I know, me too. I'm excited.
Yeah, that's awesome. So, Callie, do you want to kind of get into your story and kind of talk about what you're gonna share today?
Yeah, I got saved when I was 5 years old at my Christian little pre-K situation. But when we moved to Plato, our family was just struggling. We had a hard time. We got out of church, but I met some friends from my softball team. I think I was probably in like seventh grade, I would say. Lacey and you encouraged me to come to launch, and it was just great. I got reconnected with God. I started to go every week, just had a blast. And I would say that's where my relationship with God really took off. And then we moved up here, and I got reconnected with another great church. I've now been able to become a leader in our youth group. It's been amazing just serving and getting to know people. Um, yeah. But today we're just going to talk about how to be like a good Christian within high school sports because it can be challenging. Definitely.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, I actually just got back from softball practice, and we had a pretty intense practice. And I
Uh-huh.
was just on the way up here, I was just thinking and reminding myself, like, God is so good, and everything that we do, there in some way, in some capacity, we can honor Him, and we can't do any of this in life without God. And so, especially in sports, because we're constantly under pressure, being able to have Him as like a constant is really helpful.
Yes, definitely.
So you're softball, huge softball girl, right?
Yes. I also play
Yeah,
volleyball, but softball is definitely number
softball's
one.
it.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So good. So, what's kind of like your mindset going into like a big game or like a huge stage? What kind of keeps you grounded, and what do you do to stay in within yourself, but also honor God, but also perform at the highest ability?
So for me, I think when I go into games, practices, anything, it's like, what can I do to glorify God through this? So for me, um, especially through all this like senior stuff, because we'll have like senior night and my teammates will like recognize me for how they see me and just like give sweet letters and stuff. And a lot of things that people have said about me is that I'm a light and I'm positive. That has always been my number one goal, is to just be positive in every situation, because there are those tough games and those tough practices where it's like everyone's just down and it's stressful and just not good. So I always just try to stay that optimistic person. That's definitely my biggest thing.
Yeah, that's so good because I feel like, especially in sports and especially playing like
hmm
in the secular world in sports, it's so easy to get frustrated and get down and to talk bad on yourself, on your players, on your team. And just being able to have that one person, just like as a constant light, is so helpful. And what a better person to be it than you? Like I can choose today that I can be a light for my team and I can make a change. And actually, if you look at teams that have a light and people who are encouraging, and then you look at teams who tear each other down, there's a
hmm
big difference in success. And
Yes,
that says
definitely.
something. Yeah, that says something about our relationship with Jesus. Like when you lean on to Him and when you are light and you are positive and you shine bright, then you are able to bring your team up with you.
Yes. Just like OU for softball, for an example. Like they were so successful and their whole team was centered around that. I think it's great.
Yeah, that's it's crazy, and I strive to be like that. I strive to in everything I do to like give it all to God, but also whether I succeed or I don't, I'm just gonna lean on to Him, and then it's gonna all be okay.
Yes, definitely. Another thing is the girls on our team, I don't know how long they've been doing it, but just in our softball program, we get visors and we'll take like the bill of our visors and write stuff in them. Some people write scriptures. Like for me, mine has a cross right underneath it and it says, play for God. And it's like, remember your why. And last year we had play cards in our wristbands and we had our card on top. And then our coach had us get a note card and write what we wanted in there. And it was like your 3 goals. And mine was like, remember your why, shake it off, you got this. And for any sport or anything you go through in life, I think that's just the most important thing to remember. Like, it's going to be okay. Your performance is not what defines you. Like, that's in God's hands. But sometimes you can't control, like, if you're going to have a perfect game or not. Like, we make errors, we make mistakes, everyone does. But what you can control is your attitude. I think that's super important too. Just being positive, it helps so much. So much.
Yeah, that's so good. My coach always says the two things you can control is your attitude and effort.
Yes.
So
Yes.
everything that you do, you can do it with a good godly attitude and giving all 100% in effort and honoring Him. Because when you don't give 100%, then you are not honoring God and using the gifts that He's given you. I also want to
Absolutely.
go back to when you like you wrote your stuff down. So I
Uh-huh.
just recently got my bat and my glove out, and I have been having trouble just staying like grounded in the game and staying confident. And so I am having trouble waiting on the ball when I hit. So I wrote on my bat, I think it's Isaiah 30, 30 something, but it's like it says wait on the Lord. But it's a reminder to me to one, wait on the Lord,
I love
and to
that.
like yes, to lean in Him in all I do, but also to wait on the ball and so I can hit the ball. So that's my favorite thing about the Bible is that how it is alive and active. And even in like what we can consider silly things to wait on the ball, but this verse
Uh-huh.
also reminds me to wait on the Lord. And so another one of my favorite ones is Exodus 20, somewhere in Exodus 20, but it's like thou shalt not steal. So that's written on my catcher's glove. Also, it's like a joke, like don't steal and make someone throw you out. But also just a reminder, just of the goodness of God and everything that we do, just to give it all to Him.
Yeah,
And I
definitely.
think it's really important as Christian athletes to remind ourselves, especially in the game when pressures are high, to remind ourselves about how good God is.
Mm-hmm.
And so we just have to, just those little things, whether it's a Bible verse on your visor or on your bat, on your glove, on your wristband, like whatever you do, just to be confident and be set in who God is.
Definitely.
That's good. Yeah. So let's talk another thing, high school sports. With that comes a ton and ton of drama, which
Oh,
especially
yes.
with us girls. So
Absolutely.
can you kind of talk about how you deal with drama, and not even just like drama on the field, but also drama off the court in the classroom? How do you stay grounded in yourself, grounded in the Word, and not fall into like gossiping and things like that?
Yeah, definitely. We didn't really experience a lot of drama in softball this year, but volleyball last year, it was very significant. Um, just like we had a bad coach, we've had 3 different head coaches in my 4 years. So it's just like constant transitioning, reproving yourself every year, that type of thing. So with that comes like people thinking they're not getting enough playing time or arguing over like all those sorts type different things. And for me, it's just like people automatically come to me because I listen to them, and I'm just kind of the friendly type where I'm friends with everyone, you know? And for me, it's just important that you don't get yourself involved because that will just like
Mm-hmm.
make things 10 times worse. Like, you gotta just stay that happy, optimistic, encouraging person. And sometimes just give a subtle reminder like, hey, God's got this, it's in God's hands. Like, continue to be nice to that person and give them great godly advice. You can't fall into it or else you're going to get dragged into it. And then that maybe that one person on the team that's positive will be negative, and then the whole team is like interrupted with that.
Yeah, that's so good. As girls, especially, just the craziness and busyness of life and all the
Mm-hmm.
things that go around, we're constantly under pressure and constantly dealing with things. And in relationships, it's super important as people who love Jesus to be a sounding board for everyone. But
Yes.
we have to be able to like take the sound, but not give into it. So
Yes.
I want to be there for people who will come to me with their questions and their frustrations and their all of their hurt, and I want to be there and to guide them to the light. I don't want Gracyn to get in the way. I want to be the vessel to which they can reach the Lord. So if
Yes.
someone's coming to me and they're having trouble with a teammate, I don't want to get into it and start bad mouthing the teammate or bad mouthing the coach or whatever. I want to step in and be like, it's gonna be okay. Like, just lean into God, and His identity is who you are, and then what that teammate says doesn't matter.
Yes.
I feel like
Absolutely.
it's so easy to fall into the mess of drama. And I experienced this firsthand. We've had this softball season has come with a lot of drama, and I it's easy to fall into that and the completely talking negative, talking down, being um, discouraging. And I was just reminded, I had just had a conversation with my mom, and she just reminded me, like, you have got to allow yourself to be positive, and you have got to allow yourself to let that shake off. You can't you can't be frustrated, because then people look up to you. And even if you don't think they do, each person has someone who wants to be like them, and not in like this crazy like idealistic way, but there's people who look up to you who want to be like you, and you have got to stay grounded in who God is, and you have got to stay positive and happy and encouraging, so that when people are looking at you, they're like, oh, I can have that too. I
Yes.
think one of the coolest things is I just learned about this, but it's called borrowed confidence. So, like, if I am confident in somebody else, but they're not confident in themselves, but if I give them that confidence and, like, hey, you got this, hey, you're doing great, if I give them that confidence, then they can borrow that confidence from me and they can take it with them. In times when I don't feel confident, I can borrow confidence from those people who I gave confidence to.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a constant motion of, you need to be there with your teammates, and you need to spend time with them, and you need to encourage them, so that when you need it, they can give it back to you. But if you
Yes.
get sucked into that drama, then it's over, because you were the one who was supposed to be that light. But when you allow drama to cover your light, there's no light left.
Yeah, definitely. I heard something a long time ago that was like, for some people, you're the only Bible that they've ever read or that they ever will read. And it's so true, because like I've seen it myself. One of my great teammates, my catcher, she wrote a really sweet letter to me of all these like great things about how I encourage her. She's a year younger than me, but how I encourage her. I'm positive, I'm uplifting, and she probably would have quit if I didn't like talk to her and encourage her to stick it out. And it's like, you truly do never know who you're impacting. That's why it's so important, if you're known to be a Christ follower, to truly try to represent that 100% of the time. Because people that don't know the Lord, if they see you being a hypocrite, which we all stumble, we do. But if it's like constant and falling into drama like that, they're going to be like, well, why do I want that? Why do I want to be involved in that if they're just like not living how they're saying they are, you know?
Yeah, that's really good. Especially in sports, I know it's super easy to fall into being overly competitive. Like, I have a big problem with that. Like, if the game's on the line and someone commits an error or somebody strikes out, or even if it's yourself, it's super duper easy just to get frustrated really quickly and start like lashing out and
Definitely.
freaking out. Yeah, and
Yes.
I definitely, like, I have a problem, have a problem with that sometimes. So, as someone who loves Jesus, I really have to lean into Him and be like, God, like, please help me to stay grounded. So when an error happens, I'm not screaming at my teammates, because I want
Yes.
to be positive and I want to be a light. And when someone strikes out, whether that be me or my teammates, that I stay positive and I don't get down on myself, because you have to keep performing. And the way you react to your mistakes and the way you react to failure is a direct reflection of what kind of person you
Yes.
are.
Definitely.
Do you
Yeah.
want to be someone who leans into God, who allows him to pick up their faults, or are you going to be someone who is so stuck in the world that they cannot get their crap together once they make a mistake?
Yes, definitely. Yeah, for me this year, like our program was used to being successful. We graduated like 5 starting seniors, and we had to pull up a bunch of people that had never had like varsity time before. So that was really something I struggled with in the beginning of the season, because we started playing games and it's like, we're not successful. Like, this is different. We lost our starting pitcher was a senior in my grade. She transferred to a different school right before season started. And it's like just like a huge letdown, you know? And just finding like where I stood in that was really hard for me. And even like my coach from last year, she had to like pull me aside. She's like, Callie, like you're acting different. What's going on? And I was trying really hard not to, but I have to remind myself, like, that's not what my identity is in. These girls that are younger than me still they need me to pick me up. My coach told me that I was like their constant for them. So that really like got me back into gear, like, okay, Lord, like help me put these girls over myself, help me put you over myself, and just like have fun with it, you know? I definitely struggle with being competitive, especially in softball sometimes too, because I love it. It's really important to me. But sometimes you just have to take a step back and be like, okay, Lord, what do you need from me in this?
Yeah. And I just to like shout out to all the athletes, like what you're doing is incredible. What you do and what you succeed in is incredible, but it is not who you are. Like your identity is not found in your sports, and your identity is not found in your success. Your identity is only found in the Lord. And we can preach that over and over again, but until we accept that for ourselves, like when I
Yes.
strike out, my identity is not in my strikeout. My identity is in my Father when He says you are
Yes.
loved and you are chosen. And when I make an error, or when I get thrown out, like my identity is in who God is. And so I can allow myself to just keep going. And at the end of the day, when you hang up your cleats and you zip up your bag, God loves you the same regardless of how you perform.
Yes.
And it's
Definitely.
super hard, especially when you have like a coach who doesn't love Jesus, whether that
Yes.
be like anywhere, it's hard for you to be like it's okay. Like my identity is the same, because you're trying to please these people who are in control if you get to play or not. And so you just have to walk the line of trying to be perfect enough, but realizing that I'm not going to be perfect.
Yes. Yeah. Also in teammates too. Like I've definitely had my share of teammates that don't know the Lord, and that can be really hard too. Or they're like, we have a bad game or something, and they're like, well, why are you happy? Like, that was terrible. We just sucked. I'm like, yes, we probably did just suck, but that's okay. One of my coaches says that, like, she's like, softball does not define you. She went and played college ball. I'm like, how did you just like move past that from just not having it in your life anymore, because that's a huge part of my life. I love it. I've been playing it since I was 5. And she's like, Callie, softball does not define you. Your relationship with the Lord does. So in my season, I've decided I'm not going to go play at a higher level, which I'm still just like, you know, but I know that I've been called to do the right thing, and I'm listening to what God is telling me. And that's my season right now, just leaning into that and trusting God with my next steps.
That's so good. We cannot allow our sports or whatever activity we're doing to become
Yeah,
an idol in our life. Like
definitely.
God is first. Like I have God, my family, and then whatever comes
Yep.
after. So we just like when you are playing or whatever you're doing, when you're getting in those extra workouts and spending all this like all this money and all these things, and you're like blood, sweat, tears, everything you're doing, you just have to remember like whatever I'm giving to this sport, I have to give God so much more. So if
Yep.
my sport is coming in the way of my time with the Lord, this is like a big topic right now. But are you skipping out on church to go play a sport?
Yeah.
Like
I've seen a lot of stuff about that recently.
yeah, like what is your priority in life? Are
Mm-hmm.
you going to allow yourself to put something else above the time that you spend with the Lord?
Mm-hmm.
And I just like, I want to tell y'all today, you have got to put God first before whatever you do, whether that be a sport, whether that be schoolwork, whether that be an activity or scrolling on TikTok, whatever you do, the Lord has got to come first. He gets your first priority. So you have to make sure, are you giving God your all? Are you choosing when you wake up in the morning to hop on TikTok and scroll, or are you choosing to get in the Word? And I'm preaching to myself too. You have got to put God first, and then He will allow success through you. So if you're skipping out on your Sunday morning service to go play sports, I just want you to think about that. Where is God in your life? Because I had a huge conviction. I did not want to play on Sundays because I knew being in the house of the Lord is the most important thing to me.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
I think it's super important just to look at your life and be like, are my sports, are they becoming an idol in my life? Because we are to put nothing before God.
Yeah, I think in the Bible it says give your first fruits. And that's what I think about that. Like, when I wake up in the morning, is the first thing I'm doing checking my phone. I've had to check myself in that. At church camp last year, one of the pastors was preaching, like, your first five. What do you do with your first five? Normally, everyone wakes up and checks their phone. I'm guilty of that myself. I'm
Mm-hmm.
preaching to myself too. But he said that if you just give that 5 minutes to the Lord, like, that'll start your day off 100% better. And for me, when I've done that, it does help tremendously. I highly recommend that. Just getting in, even if it's just like praying, just talking to God. Like, you just got to talk to God like He's your friend. That's my biggest piece of advice. Just throughout my day, on the field, off the field, just talking to the Lord.
Yeah, that's like my favorite thing. My favorite thing to do is, especially during the national anthem. My dad's a sports photographer, and he just took the most atrocious picture of me doing the national anthem. And it wasn't because I was just like, I wasn't standing there and I looked so mad. But the truth is I was praying to the Lord before the game. I was
Yeah.
like, God, please give me strength. Please give me courage. And my face was utterly, like, it was terrible. But I was like, it just was such a good reminder. Like, I put God first for everything. Like, before every game, I'm going to say a prayer and be like, God be glorified. Regardless of the outcome, God be
Yes.
glorified.
Yes.
There's one thing I just read in a book by Maddie Pruitt. She was talking about how you have to put things in place that are like non-negotiables. So in my day, I'm going to read like 5 minutes of the Bible. I'm going to pray for 5 minutes, and I'm going to do worship Lord for 5 minutes. Those are her non-negotiables. Like, she is not going to do anything else. If she needs to go hang out with her friends, if she needs to go to sports practice, if she wants to watch a movie, if those non-negotiables are not done, then she's not going to do it. And
Yeah.
I think it's so important for us today, to people, especially as athletes who have crazy busy schedules, that we put non-negotiables in place that have to be done before I do anything. So you
Yes.
need to set a time, like, I'm going to get in the Word here. And even if it's as simple as making your bed, I'm going to do these things, non-negotiables, every single day so that I become consistent. And so when pressure comes and when hard things happen, I have been consistent in the Lord, and it makes it so much easier to get through it.
Yes, definitely. Me and my mom were talking about this the other day. Like, people that do not know the Lord, I do not know how they get through, like, hard things in their life. Like, I truly don't think I could if I didn't. Like, that's just crazy to me. And I think that's why it's so important to spread that love, because there are so many people that do not know Jesus. And honestly, it's scary. That day is
Yes.
coming, and we don't know when it's gonna be.
Yeah. I like when I think about sports, and I'm like, it is literally an up and down roller coaster of like
Uh-huh.
the ebb and flow is insane. I could not do it without Jesus. The amount of times I have sat in the locker room before a game, like in tears, crying, like, God, I need you. Like, I don't know how people don't do it. And so when people ask me, like, how do you do things so well and so, like, with such positivity, I'm like, God, there's no
God.
other option.
Yeah,
For
100%.
sure. Yeah. And I, like you said, I want to be that light, so people are like, so how do you do it? And I'm like, God, let me tell you about him.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So, also thinking like sports related world, you talked about not continuing your career in college. At what point did you realize, like, God has a different plan for me? Can you kind of walk me through that?
Yes. So, um, we moved to Texas, and I soon realized that, like, it's so true. Texas sports are a whole different ball game. Like, the amount of, like, they don't even call, like, in Missouri, it's like travel ball. Like, when you play during the summer, it's called travel ball. Here, everyone refers to it as select. And I'm like, select? But it's like, for real. Me and Tucker, both my younger brother, started going to tryouts to get on a team. And, like, these girls, they're good. They're competitive. They're tough. And I played my whole, like, the summer before my freshman year. And then there's a fall season, too. I played that whole fall season. And I went to, like, camps, college recruiting tournaments, that kind of thing. And it was super fun. But I just feel like I got, like, really burned out. So, like, the summer after my freshman year, going into my sophomore year, I just took a step back. It was just a lot. And I had a bad coach. And I didn't really feel like I was having fun anymore. So I kind of just prayed about it. I kept playing for high school ball. That was really fun. And then fast forward to now, I've been, like, my junior year, I've had no clue what I wanted to do. Like, freshman through junior year with my career, I just didn't know what to do. I've always felt like I wanted to be a stay-at-home mom, and that's kind of cliche, but I've just really felt like that's the calling of my life. I want to raise my kids and nurture them, like biblically we're supposed to. So I really just prayed about it last year a lot, and leading up to church camp last year too. And God told me, like, you should be a teacher. Like, if I go and be a teacher, I'm learning how to nurture kids. I'm doing the same thing for them. And I believe that in any profession, you can spread the love of God. Like, anything is ministry if you make it ministry. Anything.
That's good.
Yeah. So, and then I was like, okay, well, where am I going to go to college? Had to pray about that a lot. My grandma, Brenda, um, has always been talking about C of O. And I was just like, I don't know. I don't know if I want to go to school in Missouri. I just started praying about it. And I feel like the way God speaks to me has always been like through repetition. Like, not an audible voice, but every time I've ever had to pray and talk to God about anything, it's just like the right answer is always just in my head over and over and over again. I'm like, okay, God, like, I see what you're doing. Like, this is what you want me to do. And that's just how it was for College of the Ozarks. Like, when you apply there, you have to be able to get an interview. So I went up there and I was like, my mom was just like, Callie, like, if they don't accept you after the interview, that's just a closed door and we can go from there. But God, I got a letter in the mail that I was accepted, and I was like, okay, Lord, prayed about it, and then I officially accepted it, and now I'm going. And I'm scared, definitely, but I feel like that's what I'm supposed to be doing. So I'm confident in that, and then just trusting the Lord and knowing that, yes, I'm not playing college softball, but I'm doing what's in my calling, and I'm following the path that the Lord has placed for me.
Yeah, that's so good. The hardest thing, especially when you're in love with a sport and it's what you've done forever, is being able to know when to step away and being able
Yes.
to know when it's time to be done. And so I'm also right now in transition season. Like, I'm about to be a senior, and I'm trying to decide, like, what does God have for me. And I think, like, what you talked about is praying over and over and over again about what God has for you.
Yes.
And he does not get annoyed that you are asking him questions and asking him hard questions. And even if he doesn't answer right away, he's going to answer, and
Yes.
he's going to give you what you need to hear. And I like how you said, like, you kept inquiring of the Lord. Like, you didn't give up when he said it once. You're like, I'm going to make sure. And
Mhm.
I want to hear his voice. And you dug deep, and you're like, God, speak to me. And he did, and he responded. And now you have this amazing plan ahead of you. And I'm excited to sit here and watch, but I know that you're excited to see, like, what God's going to do in your life.
Yes, definitely. And part of that for me is just like when I pray, I'll be like, God, just open my ears, my eyes, my heart, and my mind to just fully receive whatever you're trying to tell me. That's the prayer that I pray every single time I'm looking for an answer, and I think that helps me a lot.
Yeah. But I want to talk to people who have prayed and they feel like they've never heard God's voice. Like, don't give up. And
Yes,
it takes time. Like, when
definitely.
I've been praying my whole life, so I have started to understand, like, and kind of get an idea of what God like how God speaks to me, but he speaks to each of us different. Like
Yes.
he speaks to you like in your mind. And sometimes like I get an audible voice. So or God will speak to me through another person. It's
Mm-hmm.
just different. And that's okay that things are different
Yes,
for
it
each
can be
person.
different for everyone. I struggled with that too a few years ago. Like, I just felt like I was doing everything in my power and I wasn't getting it, or I wasn't hearing from God. But definitely, I encourage everyone, just keep praying. Just keep talking to God. You'll get there. Ask Him to just open your eyes, your ears, your heart, and your mind to be able to see, hear, feel in your heart just whatever He's trying to tell you. I've also experienced Him talking to me through other people too. It's definitely very cool.
Yeah, that's awesome. And prayer is so much more than just what you're looking for, but also prayer is a way that you get to talk to God. And
Yes.
Callie talked about being like talking to God as like her best friend. And I also do this too. Like I'll be walking down the hallway and be like, "Hey God, how's your day going?" Like and that sounds so weird, but like he really wants to talk to us like he's our best friend because he is. And so when I talk to him daily and I'm like, "Hey God, I'm having a hard day," or I'm just, or I go through the hallways like, "Hey God, thank you for this amazing day." Like every piece of contact and every time you inquire of him or speak to him, he is doing a work in your life.
Yes, definitely. And I just like, even if it does seem weird, I really encourage it, because the scary thing is you can go to heaven one day and He can say, "Well done, my good and faithful servant," or He can say, "Depart from me, for I never knew you." And that is so scary. That's why it is so important to continue to press in, even when things get hard.
Yeah, that's so good. And just making him a first priority in your life
Yes.
over everything that you
Yes.
do. Yeah. So it is possible. It is possible to walk the hallways, to spend time with the Lord. It is possible to be on the field and still have time to honor God in everything you do. It's possible to be a light. It's possible to shine bright and to give God the glory in everything.
Yes, 100%.
Yeah, that's so good. All right. We are going to end the podcast. With every podcast, we end it with some fun questions. So, Callie, I know this is going to be out of the blue, but I'm going to ask you what your favorite worship song is. Now, it can be like upbeat, whatever, but if you had to choose one song that, like, this is your go to worship song, what would it be?
I have lots of favorites. But ever since I was little, my favorite has been "God's Not Dead" by the Newsboys. That is
Oh,
just my
yes.
favorite. One time, my coach last year, I was having, like, I was struggling with thinking too much before I go into the box. And she was like, "Callie, just sing your favorite song before you go up to." And she was like, "Let's think of one." And she was like, "God's Not Dead." And I never told her that. And I was like,
That's crazy.
so, like, this
That's
year, that's
awesome.
what I would do. Just, like, hum it in my head and then go up to bat and be like, "Lord, just help me." But
That's
yeah.
yes, that's so good. While we're on the topic of songs, what are some of your favorite like Christian walk-up songs? Do you have some that you use or
Yes, I did not remember the name of it. The one I used last year I really liked. It was called like "All My Faith." And then the new Brandon Lake song, what is that called?
Hard Fought Hallelujah? Is that
Yes.
one? Okay,
Yes.
that so
Oh my
good.
gosh, like chills.
Yes.
Chills. We played a girl that had that as her walk-up song, and she got on. I play first, and she got on first base. I was like, "Dude, I love your walk-up song."
Yeah, we played a girl, I think it was in Arkansas, and she had that as her walk-up song, and I was like, dude, that's so good. Yeah.
Yes.
I've done I've done Hard Work, God for First by Zonti. And my favorite one, mine right now, is Up by Forrest Frank. And
Yes, that's what I
I
was
love
also
that
gonna
one.
say. Any Forrest Frank song, I feel like they're pretty good too.
Yes. Mine, all of the people will start singing it. And I'm like, this is so cool. Like just a little worship moment. I've also heard people use Lion by Elevation. Um, I can't remember, but there's a lot of like MLB players who use some Christian ones as well. But I
Yes.
just want to encourage you, like, if you're looking for a walk-up song, I think one that honors God and says the name of Jesus is super cool because that without you even do anything, you get to put like that little bit of testimony into people.
Yes, definitely.
All right, next question. What is your favorite ice cream flavor? I'm a huge ice cream girl. So if you had one choice, what would be your like go-to ice cream flavor?
Mine is definitely cookies and cream. It has always been. It's so good.
Yes, that I agree. That's a staple. That's a good
Yes.
one. Next question. what is your go-to outfit? So like when you I told people like when you go to the mall. So like my go-to outfit would be like probably cargo pants and like a t-shirt or jeans and a sweater. Like what's your go-to outfit?
Usually mine is just like athletic shorts and a cute t-shirt. I've been into like the super colorful oversized t-shirts. That's what I've been wearing a lot. And I'm excited for the summer. I like wearing my Birkenstocks.
Yes.
But I've also been wearing tennis skirts too. I think they're so cute, like the little
I
athletic
love
ones.
those.
Yeah.
Yes. I love the oversized t-shirt. I'm a huge color girl, and so oversized t-shirts tucked into like shorts. Oh my
Yes.
gosh, it's my go-to. My go-to sandal though, I gotta say it's Chacos. I don't know if you ever had a
Oh,
pair of Chacos,
yes,
but
I
they're like
have.
the perfect shoe.
I
I
love
wear them.
them.
Yeah, I wear them to church camp, and it's perfect because like you can run in them, but also in the water game. So like I'm playing kickball in these things, and I can boot it, but also I can get them wet, and so it's like
Yeah.
the perfect mixture.
If someone asked me the one thing to bring to church camp, I'd probably say chacos too.
Yeah, I would have to agree. Yeah. All right, final question, Callie. Tell us just like a unique fact about you that you want the people to know.
Um, I guess I've always told people in school that I rodeo. I've been involved in that. I've grown up around horses my whole life. That's kind of my fun thing, other than softball and volleyball.
Awesome. I see your stuff all the time, and like first of all, your outfits are so cute.
Thank you.
So when you rodeo, do you rope or do you barrel race or
I do barrel racing and pole bending. Pole bending, if you don't know, is kind of like barrel racing. It's the same concept, except instead of 3 barrels, there's 6 like skinny poles, and you have to
okay?
weave in between them. Yeah.
That's so cool. What's your horse's name?
Missy. She's a
Aw,
blonde Palomino, and we got her in Mississippi, so her name's
that's
Missy.
so cute. That's so cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, guys, we are so thankful that you tuned in today. I'm so grateful that Callie got to join me on the podcast today and just talking about how you can honor God in everything you do. And even though life's crazy, just putting God first and especially in sports, just being that light that the people need. So
Yes.
if you guys haven't, please like and subscribe. Comment below what is your favorite activity, whether it be a sport or something that you like to do and how you honor God in it. And if you haven't, check out the last podcast we did. We talked about how to be a good Christian as a teenager. So this kind of goes hand in hand with that. But we're so grateful for you guys watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye, guys.